Hello, check. Warm good morning to everyone. Welcome back. Today we are going into the modules of lean management and theory of constraint. To recap about previous lectures, what we had done, we had seen the basic introduction to the course of lean management and theory of constraint. I had given an introduction on the basic definitions of lean management, companies taken like FedEx, Nike, and Intel to show the importance of lean management applied at these companies. Then we went ahead and what is the basics of theory of constraint, the basic definition of theory of constraint, and we saw a few examples of Tata Steel and Kurlon, how these companies have applied theory of constraint and have gained an advantage. Moving forward, today we are moving into the module 1 of lean management and theory of constraint course. So module 1 is introduction to lean. The content which we'll be covering first is the evolution of lean. So when we speak about lean as a management philosophy, it has evolved through generations, through decades, and various people have been responsible to make what lean is today. The last example of Mr. Henry Ford, he was the person who had started the Ford Motor Company. He was very influential in bringing up concepts which were related to lean management. Further moving ahead, he was the one who introduced the concept of assembly lines. These assembly lines were a crucial part in making sure this, sorry, my mistake. This assembly lines was the part wherein he actually made sure that mass productions were happening. So assembly line was a crucial part in the movement of evolution of lean. These assembly lines were used tremendously by the Ford Motor Company and which led to the era of mass production. Further ahead, it was Toyota Motor Company which came forward with various construction system. So in detail, we'll be seeing each of this concept of how Toyota has evolved and how lean came into picture. Toyota was very influential in making lean what it is today. Lean as a management philosophy has evolved through various time sector because people involved were different, and ultimately the benefits of lean were slowly seen, and it went across a quarter of a century to actually understand the importance of lean. So lean as a course has, or lean management as a subject has evolved, and it has been what it is today. Toyota was a company which was very influential in taking the concept to the people and knowing it. The success of Toyota has let people know what lean is about and what lean can be useful for. Toyota was able to obtain low cost, high variety, and a very high quality with a rapid throughput. This was very crucial because these were actually evolving, and every company was moving apart from the mass production system. So what happened is that through generations, so in the era of craft production from the 1800s, then the era came up in the mass production era, and now the era is about lean management, or you can say an era wherein batch productions has been made and the focus is more on variety because the customers demand are more and people are eager to have more variety of items to use. So that is where lean has come into picture and now the evolution of lean has traveled. So we'll be dealing all this in detail in a module part of the first content, that is evolution of lean. Moving ahead, we'll be moving into the main definition of lean and what is lean thinking, because lean as a course or lean as a philosophy has evolved. But the major focus of lean is of removal of waste. Like in my first introductory section, I had told you about how muda, that is your waste, is one part which lean focuses on. Lean tries to cut off or eliminate this waste, and according to that, try to provide value to the customer. It's always about value addition in case of lean. Lean always try to make sure that the customer is receiving the value of your product, and it is more focused on delivering this value towards the customers. So in this part, we will be seeing about the various principles of lean, what lean's principles are based on, and we'll be seeing with the philosophy of lean. The lean philosophy is based upon three P's, that is your purpose, the process, and the people. So when we speak about the purpose, what is you as a company or you as a company to provide to the customer? What value of the customer are going to satisfy? That is the main crucial point. Once you decide that, you move to the processes. What processes are there your company has, and how these processes can be uh, can be uh, can be made in such a manner that they deliver the maximum value to the customer. And it's of course the people of the company, the people who are working with, they have to be responsible and they have to be aware of why lean is as a philosophy should work for them, and what is the things which are involved in making sure that the value to the customer is reached. People are responsible. So responsibility is a key philosophy on which lean works. So all this of lean thinking, how lean thinking is working and how people are actually going or moving towards lean is based or will be dealing in this part. The third part is understanding about the basis of lean. That is the basics of lean, which is understanding of waste. Like I told you, waste as a terminology has come from the Japanese word called as muda, and it is based on the Toyota production system. Toyota as a company was able to identify all this. It was Taiichi Ono, the person who was involved in the Toyota production system, who came up with this waste. So when we speak of waste, a simple definition, waste is something which is not adding value or it is a non-value added activity. An activity which does not add value to the customer is termed as waste. But there are different kinds of waste. Some some non-value activities which are necessary and some non-value activities which are not necessary. So the main focus of lean is identifying this waste or the non-value added activities which are not required. That becomes a difficult part is to identify and to know what are the main things which are a waste. So that a company has to understand and they have to focus on finding out what are the waste. Taiichi Ono identified 7 waste. It is called as TIMBUD. T for transportation, I for inventory, M for motion, W for waiting, O for over processing, O for overproduction, and Z for defects. We'll be seeing each one in detail how, and we'll be understanding each one. What is transportation, what is motion, what is inventory, what is the waiting part which is happening, what is over processing, overproduction, and defects. We'll be learning in detail how this identifications becomes is very crucial here, because identification of waste is something which has to be done properly. If waste identification is not there, then the company will not be able to understand that where they are investing a lot of time, right? So for example, inventory. When we speak about inventory, it's something like the work in process inventory, the raw materials inventory, the finished goods and inventory. If your inventory is being stored at some place and it is not moving ahead, then that becomes a problem. So as a company, you have to identify which are the factors which lead to waste, and we'll be dealing in depth of each of these definitions and we'll be understanding the meaning of each of it. So to just give you an overview, It's a simple thing that the Taichi Ono did observations in this Toyota company, and he actually came up with simple observation like like employee, for example, he wants to have a tool. If he is moving to a tool section and he has to wait there to obtain the tool, then it becomes a waste, because the the employee or the worker, if I specify, is supposed to work on the machine and not waste his time waiting to get the tool from the tool section. So this is a simple observation which you made, and he pointed out that waiting is one of the waste. So we'll be seeing in detail of how these wastes are created, what are the main reasons of the waste, and how waste identification can be done. Because identification of waste is crucial. As a company, identification of waste is wherein you try to invest your time. If waste identification is done properly and eliminated properly, you will get the benefits of lean. There's one more waste which is called as the poor talent, or the talent, unutilized talent of an employee. So that is what, due to the evolution of lean, one more 8 waste has come into picture. Taichi Ono gave the 7 waste which were as timber. Moving ahead. Yeah, so we spoke about the three M's. The three M's, from that we have spoken about muda. Muda is nothing but waste. So Toyota Production System focuses, or they came up with this three M's of manufacturing. So when we speak about, so it's a simple diagram here which shows about what is muda. We spoke about muda. So if you observe here, a person is actually wasting some time actually carrying some work, but he is not doing it in a satisfied manner. So that is a kind of a muda which is created. If you observe in the second part here is the unevenness. So what happens is that mura, the word called is called as mura. In English, it is called as unevenness or not proper leveling. So what happens? Companies actually try to focus on understanding of unevenness. This unevenness might be created because of the different demand of the customers. So it becomes very, very difficult for companies to manage this unevenness. And there is a created, mura is what creates the muri and the muda. So as a company, you will try to focus on understanding what is mura and how to identify this mura. So we'll be seeing in detail of mura. When we speak about muri, a simple example of muri is nothing but the main definition, or the English word of muri is overburden. It means that a person is overburdened. So if I say you're working on a computer and you are just working continuously for 24 hours and 7 days a week, there are chances that the computer might get overloaded or overburdened. And one day might come that it will stop working. So that is a muri. So as a company, you will always try to identify a muri. There are muris because customer demands are more, people try to work more during the deadlines are there. So that all creates overburden. It will be overburden on the resource, a resource or like a machine or the people. So you have to understand that lean will always focus on identification of these three M's. With these three M's, you as a company will be able to eliminate these M's and achieve the objectives of lean management. Moving ahead. So as a company, you want to go for lean, and you have decided, okay, now lean is something I as a company, as a company want to implement. But it is very difficult because the major concepts of lean are very simple, but when you apply it, they don't actually give the results. Why? Because there won't be a proper commitment by the people, or not proper understanding of the concepts of lean. So that is where John Shook came up with a model of lean transformation. He gave a model wherein companies can first follow a framework. Through this framework, they'll be able to understand that how lean transformation can be applied to their company. So his model is based upon a house. If you see like the house as a pillar, the base, and your overall parts of the house. So the first pillar, if you observe this, the situational approach, that is the overall commitment or why lean is there. Lean, why there has to be something called as a situational approach, because you have to understand what the customer wants, what is the value the customer is looking for, and on that basis only you will be able to build your lean philosophy or the lean management which you want to apply in your company. The second part is your process improvements. Yes, process improvements is something which you have to understand that once you apply lean, you have to make sure that the processes are working properly. If processes are not working properly, you will not be able to achieve the objective of leans. So your process improvements plays a crucial role in this. We'll be seeing in depth each of these parameters in our modules. The third is your capability development. So what happens is that as a company, you have to first make the employees understand lean. Lean education is very, very crucial. You have to make sure that your employees are capable enough to deploy lean. But that doesn't happen in one day. You as a company have to make sure that lean philosophy is understood by the employees first. The training of the employees should happen in a proper manner. The training and education can happen in a detailed manner in such a way that you as a company will be able to implement lean. So the capability development is a very, very crucial pillar of the model which was given by John Shook. The main thing here is to observe is that the capital development cannot happen if you just depend upon your internal resources. You have to have some external resources also. So the main the main objective is that you can take help from consulting firms or a trainer, a lean coach, if you specify, who is an external resource who can come to your company and train your employees, and dependingly he will be able to deliver the he means the employee will be able to deliver the lean philosophy in a better manner. He will be able to understand the terminology of leans, and ultimately he will be able to understand that what are the various factors which lean requires. So he will be able to commit more, give more, and have a better result. The next is your responsible leadership. This is a crucial part. Many companies try to just implement lean, but the leaders themselves are not very what do you call, you can say, committed to it. So it is a crucial, or you can say the most important requirement is that the leader or the responsible leader is one who is who because if the leader is not committed to implement lean, and he is not looking forward to see the change which lean is bringing, and he doesn't believe in those, then the whole lean system will not work. Even if you as a company are doing your best, but the leaders are not responsible, they are not giving it the full commitment to it, it will not ultimately not give the results. So that is the fourth thing. The last part of is the basic thinking, the mindset, and the assumptions. So the simple words like the basic thinking, what is the mindset, and what are the assumptions. So you have to understand that the basic thinking of the people should be, or the culture of the company should be in such a manner that they are looking for change. What happens is that people don't want to change. That is most difficult part any company they face, because of the different philosophies, and they are afraid, many people are afraid to change. So this this model, or this base thinking, speaks about how and why this culture is very, very crucial. The culture, the mindset of the employees, the mindset of the main management, the mindset of the office leaders, the mindset of the lowest worker, everything should be corroborated together. It should be equal. It should be towards the same goal. And that mindset, that culture will help to get the major benefits of lean. So that's what lean, basic transformation model of lean, speaks of. So Mr. John Shaw gave this model, and that's what we'll be seeing in depth, each of the parameters, each of the things which are there. Moving forward. So moving forward, we have lean for manufacturing, and I've already spoken to you that lean, there's a misconception that lean can only be applied for manufacturing, but I try to state you that lean can be applied to services also. Here we'll be focusing how the lean in services are different, how the mudas, the ways which we saw of manufacturing, are a bit different than what we see in the services. So we'll be focusing more on understanding this mudas in services. We'll be seeing more number of examples of companies wherein the muda identifications have been done, and how the service industries are actually covering or facing what you can say is the overall identifications of waste. The processes of how lean is applied in services are a bit different, because we have more of intangible things there, and in case of services that becomes a bit difficult. So the approach of lean remains same, but the in-depth applications of lean would differ a bit when we compare it to manufacturing. So you as a company have to understand that what are the various kind of mudas which are there in a service industry, and if you want to implement lean in your service company, you have to understand the basic concepts of muda, the basic definitions of how value has been identified, and how you go for value stream mapping. Also, we'll be seeing all this in detail in this part of your section. The last part is about recognizing of lean opportunities. See, what happens is that we spoke about lean thinking in the first part, and we saw that how lean thinking is more focused on identification of waste and adding value to the customers. If you as a company are facing a challenge, you as a company are facing a threat from the competitors, lean would be an opportunity for you guys, because as a company you will be able to focus more on things which benefit the customer and in return benefit you. Lean is something which can be applied. So the opportunities of application or recognizing opportunity is very, very crucial. So we'll be seeing in depth the various number of you can say the points. So if you as a company want to be more flexible, yes, lean can be an option. You as a company want to come up with more quality items, lean can be an option. You as a company want to make sure that your costs are reduced, your waste or the mudas are cut down, lean can be an option for you. Lean opportunities to exit. So that's what we'll be dealing in detail of how to recognize lean opportunities. So with that, we have covered the introduction part of, you can say, what is the content of module 1 of lean management and theory of constraint. Just to revise, we'll be seeing evolution of lean, how lean started. Then we'll be going into understanding what is lean thinking, the principles, the philosophies. We'll be going into to understand what are the various kind of mudas, the 7 waste. We'll be going into understand what is Mura and Muri, and we'll be moving ahead to understand the lean transformation model given by John Shook, and finally summarizing it overall understanding of lean in manufacturing and services, and finally how do you recognize the lean opportunities. So that's it. Thank you for me. Thank you from me. See you. Bye.